Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dr. Ryan Anderson.
Thank you for that warm introduction, and thank you all for being here. I cannot tell you how encouraging it is to see so many smiling faces and see such a large crowd this afternoon. I just want to speak a little bit about what religious freedom is, why it matters, how it's under attack, and what you can do as citizens of a self-governing republic to protect your first freedom. And the place to start is with our founding generation. And the place to start is with our founding document. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our nation was founded on an understanding of man as being created by God with unalienable rights, that this first right was the right to life, and that this first liberty was religious liberty, that the very first liberty that's protected in the First Amendment to our Constitution is the right to the free exercise of religious liberty. Why is that the case? Why is it that liberty takes on a special importance with religious liberty? Because religion is what touches on the most important, the most sacred things in human life. Government isn't the most important thing in human life. Government is to protect the most important things in human life, and the freedom for the citizens to seek out those most important things. And yet we see religious liberty under attack like never before. And this is why we need public policy at the federal level, the state level, and the local level that respects and protects religious freedom. Let me give you just a couple examples of how just in the past few years, religious liberty laws at the federal, the state, and the local level and other jurisdictions have protected the rights of believers from a wide variety of faiths. These laws have been used to protect Apache Indians who have been told that they couldn't wear their headdresses if they contained eagle feathers. They've protected Sikhs who were told they couldn't carry the kirpan to their jobs. They've protected inner-city black churches from being zoned out of existence. They've protected Muslim prisoners who were told they couldn't grow a ceremonial beard, and Jewish inmates who were denied kosher meals. Good religious liberty laws have protected all of these people because religious freedom is for everyone, from A to Z, from Anglican to Zoroastrian. We disagree about the nature of God. We disagree about the truth about God, and yet we can agree that we should be free to disagree. We can agree that the government shouldn't be imposing penalties on people simply for living out the truths of their faith as they understand the truth, not as the government imposes the truth. James Madison helps explain why. Madison wrote, back when our nation was being founded, that the religion of every man must be left to the conviction and conscience of every man, because, he said, every man had a duty to the truth, to seek out the truth about God and to live in accordance with that truth. And Madison said that that duty took place above everything else. He says, quote, "What is here a right towards men is a duty towards the Creator. It's the duty of every man to render to the Creator such homage and such only as he believes to be acceptable. This duty is precedent, both in order of time and in degree of obligation to the claims of civil society." What did James Madison understand that our political leaders today forget? It's that religious liberty rights amongst men are to protect our freedom to fulfill our duty to God. That our duties to God are more important than the claims of government. What Madison taught, we used to understand and we used to live out. So consider that great patriot, George Washington. Washington writes a letter to the Hebrew congregation of Newport, Rhode Island. And so he's writing a letter to this Jewish community in Rhode Island, letting them know what their status in these new United States is. And he says, quote, "The citizens of the United States have a right to applaud themselves for having given to mankind examples of an enlarged and liberal policy, a policy worthy of imitation. The first thing Washington is saying, we've done something here in the US that no other nation has done. We should applaud ourselves for it, and other nations should imitate us because of it. What is Washington talking about? The next paragraph reads, "It's now no more that toleration is spoken of, as if it was the indulgence of one class that another got to enjoy the exercise of their inherent natural rights." What's he telling the Jewish people of Rhode Island? It's not just that we're going to tolerate you as if you're some foreign community that we're going to put up with you. No, you have inherent natural rights here in the United States of America to be authentically Jewish. And even if the majority of the country is Christian, we're not going to violate your rights. He says all that we ask is that you be good citizens and that you defend the Constitution. There's no religious test in the United States. Now, of course, America has a mixed record in this respect. Even though Washington's letter to the Hebrew congregation says that we'll respect the full and equal rights of all citizens, we have an ugly stain of anti-Semitism and of anti-Catholicism. And even the founders, some of the early colonists, started persecuting one another. The Pilgrims come over, they set up Massachusetts Bay Colony, and they immediately start persecuting non-Pilgrims. I'm from Maryland. We established Maryland as a colony to protect Catholics. We then start persecuting Catholics. Pennsylvania established to protect Quakers. It then starts persecuting Quakers. There's something in the human condition where we can turn on one another. This isn't America at her best. Those stories are America at her worst. And so what we need to do, like every generation before us, we have to be vigilant in protecting our rights, vigilant in holding America to her highest ideals, her highest standards, protecting religious freedom. So I'm going to close by just giving you a couple examples of what's at stake here and how Kansas can avoid repeating the mistakes of other states. Some today want to water down the free exercise of religion, what the founders intended to protect, what they call merely the freedom to worship. There are some people who want to say Sunday morning inside the four walls of your chapel or inside the four walls of your house, you're free to do what you want to do. But Monday through Saturday, when you step out on the Main Street or Wall Street, you have to leave your faith at home. That's not the truth about religion. It's not the truth about religious liberty. And I can cite no better authority on this than Michelle Obama. Here's where I agree with the First Lady. She says, quote, "Religion isn't just showing up on Sunday for a good sermon and good music and a good meal. It's about what we do Monday through Saturday as well." The First Lady is right. And that's exactly why religious liberty protections have to protect not just the freedom to worship, but the freedom to live out our faiths Monday through Saturday as well. Let me give you some examples of where this hasn't happened. In Massachusetts, the government has forced Catholic charities to stop taking care of orphans. Here you have a religious community that was taking care of widows and orphans before government even existed, and it's being told by the government in Massachusetts that it can no longer do this. But Pope Benedict XVI was clear. He wrote, "Love for widows and orphans, prisoners, and the sick and needy of every kind is as essential to the Church as the ministry of the sacraments and preaching of the gospel. The Church cannot neglect the service of charity any more than she can neglect sacraments and the Word." This is why our religious charities need to be free to minister to those in need without government interference, without government penalties. Religious liberty needs to protect these charities to serve to the least among us. So too, it needs to protect our ability to educate our children within the teachings of our religious communities. And yet there are powerful forces right now that want to take away the accreditation of faith-based schools if they teach the wrong thing about marriage. Take away the nonprofit status of faith-based schools if they don't agree with the government orthodoxy on sexuality. That's not America at her best. America at her best says that Notre Dame gets to be authentically Catholic. BYU gets to be authentically Mormon. Yeshiva gets to be authentically Jewish. And Wheaton gets to be authentically evangelical. And my alma mater, Princeton, gets to be authentically secular and liberal. That's America at her finest. We don't say everyone has to be the same. Diversity and pluralism says we all get to be different. And the Catholics get to be Catholics, the Jews get to be Jews, the Muslims get to be Muslim, the Mormons get to be Mormon, the evangelicals get to be evangelical. The government doesn't impose this on anyone. Religious liberty takes nothing away from anyone. It simply protects the freedom of everyone. Lastly, I'll mention the workplace. Because what we're seeing now is people are saying that if you go into business, if you serve the public at a for-profit, you cannot exercise your faith. Thankfully, the Supreme Court 2 years ago said, no, that's wrong. In a decision that Antonin Scalia was in the majority on, they defended the rights of the owners of Hobby Lobby and of Conestoga Wood to run their business. We no longer have Justice Scalia with us. And later this year, the Little Sisters of the Poor will be at the Supreme Court arguing their case, because they are still suing the Obama administration because the Obama administration will not give them a religious liberty exemption to the coercive HHS mandate. They say when they're inside the four walls of their chapel, they get religious liberty, but when they take care of the sick and the elderly, they don't. That is not America at her finest. There will be a case later this year with a pharmacist, a pro-life pharmacist who says, I can't dispense pills that kill. I have no problem dispensing other medications, but I can't dispense abortion pills. The government is forcing this pharmacist to do this. And then countless examples of bakers, florists, photographers, people of faith who have no problem employing gays and lesbians, no problem serving gays and lesbians. They can't help celebrate a same-sex wedding. They've been penalized by the government, and you'll hear from one of them in just a few minutes. What we need to do in this country is protect the freedom of all Americans, of whatever faith tradition they come from, whatever walk of life, in whatever venue of life, be it a church, a charity, a school, or a small business, to protect their freedom to live out their faith without government penalties. And I want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank the organizers. No other state that I know of has ever had any rally that even approaches what you are doing here this afternoon. You are being historic. So I want to thank the three main organizers of this event, the Kansas Catholic Conference, the Family Policy Alliance of Kansas, and Concerned Women of America. They are providing leadership for Kansans to protect their freedom. And I want to thank all of you, and I want to encourage you. You guys are citizens of a self-governing republic. You're not the subjects of a tyrant. And if your freedoms are going to be protected, it'll be because you demand that they be protected. Thank you, and God bless.